Microsoft and Meta just released their latest quarterly figures. Pretty good quarter, as Larry David would say. Meta is up around 4 to 5%. Microsoft, after guidance was given on the call, is up over 8%. Solid commentary from both companies on the current situation for the business, on the outlook as well, on AI spending, on CapEx spending, and all of that. So all good for those two companies, and of course very good news for, well, the continued AI story, whether you are an investor in Nvidia, Arista Networks, AMD, you name it. This was very good news. So let's dive into this report. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. Special thanks to FinChat as well for sponsoring this video. You can now get 25% on your FinChat subscription, no matter which one, but the promotion does end Thursday night. So be quick with that. Link is down in the description and in the pinned comment. All right, so Meta right now is up 4.5%, and I just wanted to show you Meta since the lows, right? Remember when Meta towards the end of 2022, nobody wanted to touch Meta. Everybody was saying Facebook is dead, nobody's using it, the metaverse is a flop, blah, blah, blah. Well, since then the stock is up over 518%. Pretty good. And this, with the after hours action, has now become my second largest position in the core portfolio. Very happy with that. Now, since the earnings call just ended, we can go and look at the earnings call transcript and read it all. I'm of course just kidding. We can use FinChat and that can generate us a summary from that transcript. Of course, for specific things that you want to know, you can always use this tab right here. But I did want to show you one interesting thing here. So they said the following. The company is focused on AI-driven improvements to advertising and content recommendations with early success in Reels and Threads. Meta AI has almost 1 billion monthly active users, with information gathering and social interactions being the top use cases. Ray-Ban Meta AI glasses are showing strong traction, with monthly actives up over 4 times year over year. Pretty impressive. Of course, if you want, you can ask it maybe a question specifically about WhatsApp, and it will just go over the whole transcript and see if anything about WhatsApp was mentioned. And as you can see, well, yes, WhatsApp was mentioned during the earnings call. Mark Zuckerberg highlighted WhatsApp's significant user base, stating it has more than 3 billion monthly active users, including over 100 million in the United States. I also do believe he did talk a little bit about the standalone Meta AI app. Why did they do a standalone Meta AI app? Well, it's more focused right now for the United States, because in the United States, WhatsApp is still not the most popular messaging app. Go figure, it still is iMessage. Now, of course, in WhatsApp, if you have WhatsApp, you can already chat with Meta AI, so it's pretty simple. For the United States, they really wanted to focus on a standalone app, so people are maybe a bit more familiar with that, even though I do still think you can use it in Messenger and Instagram. Another mind-blowing stat from Meta's report is that somehow they managed to grow family daily active people by 6% or 5.9%, and now it's at 3.43 billion. 3.43 billion. What is it? 46% of the whole population on this planet? That's pretty incredible. And of course, you can see all of the other KPIs. I've already saved a couple for the presentation, but you can use all of that here on FinChat. Segments and KPIs, they track company-specific metrics. If you don't know what FinChat is, you can use my link down in the description and in the pinned comment. You'll get 2 weeks of FinChat Pro for free if you're a new user, and then 25% off up until Thursday midnight, and then we're back to 15% off. So it's up to you what you want to do. Link is down in the description and in the pinned comment. Moving on here, as you can see for the quarter, it was almost a clean sweep. A small miss here for APAC revenue by 0.5% and an ad impressions miss by 190 basis points. For guidance, we have here as well for Q2 revenue that missed by 0.1% and total expenses for fiscal year 2025 did increase. So that's a miss of 1.7% because it is higher than expected. Now, all in all, when you look at each and every metric here, whether it's revenue, average price per ad, especially the first one here, and ad impressions, it is a very, very good quarter. This will always blow my mind. So what do we have? Advertising revenue of $41.39 billion, Family of Apps revenue of $41.9 billion, and Reality Labs revenue of just $412 million. This brings us to the Reality Labs operating loss of $4.2 billion. Yes, honestly, I don't know. Do you think they will ever make a profit from this business? If you take all of the losses in the last couple of years, do you think they'll ever break even or make profit? So all in all for the quarter, we have operating margin of 41%, which is of course 3 percentage points better than the same quarter last year. Now, the big deal here was, of course, that they now anticipate full year 2025 capex, including principal payments on finance leases, that will be in the range of $64 to $72 billion, and that's up from the prior outlook of $60 to $65 billion. Mark Zuckerberg also said the following: "We had a strong start to an important year. Our community continues to grow and our business is performing very well. We are making good progress on AI glasses, Meta AI, which now has almost 1 billion monthly actives." Management did say that 2025 capex hike is an acceleration, not a one-off. It's too early to set a 2026 baseline, but current spend could become the new normal depending on infrastructure needs. We're flexing build strategy to bring capacity online faster in 2025 and 2026. So yeah, what this just tells me is that nobody here wants to underbuild. I don't think they mind overbuilding because they do all believe that, well, the demand will be there. And so far, I see very little signs of anything slowing down so much. Moving on to Microsoft. So Microsoft right now is not up 8 to 9%. It's back under 8% after hours. It's up 7.7%. Still pretty good. What's interesting here is that over the last 12 months, before they reported earnings, the stock was basically flat. Now we're going to be up a little bit. So yeah, quite interesting. And so as for Microsoft's report, revenue well beats across the board, as you can clearly see right here, and the guide will always come during the call. So the stock's reaction when the report comes out is one thing, but then it's important to always listen to the call to see what the guidance will be. Revenue is expected to be $72.3 billion. Of course, I already have the number, so we'll talk about that in a bit. So revenue for this quarter did increase 13.2% to just over $70 billion. Microsoft Cloud revenue increased 20.8% year over year to $42.4 billion. So they gave us the outlook for every segment here. So previously, like I said, previously we had FX headwinds. Now we have FX tailwinds. Productivity and business processes revenue will come there between $32 and $32.35 billion. Intelligent Cloud, approximately $29 billion. More personal computing, $12.5 billion. And then the rest is displayed here. I'm not going to go over every single item, but I did say that CapEx will still grow in fiscal year 2026, but it will just grow slower than in 2025. Okay, Microsoft, remember, Microsoft started to spend before the other players. So for them, it does make more sense. They've also talked a little bit about the reports, right, of them canceling leases, etc., etc. They just answered the same thing. Look, there are some locations where we will just need to focus more on them than some others. So we might pause one location or the other. It's also about energy constraint as well. All in all, the picture is still the same. They expect to grow. They expect to be more demand. So yeah, they're sticking to their plan. And yes, sometimes you have to change course a little bit. That doesn't mean that you will not invest more in other places. They will keep saying the same thing time and time again. Where there is more demand, they will go there. If there is less demand in one place, then they might slow down in that specific location. Now, looking at the three big segments here, so more personal computing, intelligent cloud revenue, and productivity and business processes revenue. As you can see, intelligent cloud revenue did reaccelerate this quarter. As for Microsoft Cloud revenue, that grew 20.5% year over year, which is the lowest year over year growth since June quarter of 2023. Could the next one be below 20% year over year growth? Remains to be seen. It will be a, let's say, easier comp, right? Because June quarter of 2024, that increased 21.8%, so could have an easier beat next quarter. Touching back on this quarter's segment, revenue in productivity and business processes was $29.9 billion, an increase of 10%. LinkedIn revenue increased 7% or 8% on a constant currency basis. I think this is the first quarter in a long time that it did not increase by 9%. Revenue in intelligent cloud increased 21% year over year. They said that server products and cloud services revenue increased 22% or 24% on a constant currency basis, driven by Azure and other cloud services revenue growth of 33% or 35% on a constant currency basis. Revenue in more personal computing was $13.4 billion, an increase of 6% or 7% on an FX neutral basis. Windows OEM and devices revenue increased 3%, Xbox content and services revenue increased 8%, and search and news advertising revenue excluding TAC increased 21% or 23% on a constant currency basis. So again, all in all, a very good quarter here as well for Microsoft. And to be honest, I mean, it's quite amazing to see these types of quarters. I mean, if you look at the margins, right? Operating cash flow 52.8%, net income 36.8%. There's also increasing 140 basis points year over year or 220 quarter over quarter. Amazing performance for a company that is worth already a couple of trillions of dollars. To grow like this is something else. So all in all, very good comments, very good results by both companies. And of course, this should also be good news for semiconductor stocks or other companies in the semiconductor ecosystem. So all in all, that's about it. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, check out FinChat for 25% off, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.